Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm afraid it's about time to start. It's on the 11.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Heriberto, ¿me puedes hacer host, por favor, para meter a la gente? Porque creo que nada más se puede hacer host a una persona. Okay. Entonces, al hacer host a una persona, pues, esa persona tiene que hacer host a la siguiente. No me aparece la opción de que se pueda hacer a muchas personas.
¿No puedes hacer co-host? ¿Co-host?
No me sale la opción.
Oh, ok. Ok. Pues solamente que sea el host de la persona que va, que sea... Oh, no, porque cuando estemos presentando somos los hosts.
Sí, sí, sí. Pero
yo,
ya
por ejemplo, cuando...
cuando tú presentes, puedes hacer host a la siguiente persona.
Sí se puede con la configuración, Dani, desde el inicio de la reunión.
Sí.
Ahí puedes hacer lo que dice Ariadna, como co-host.
Co-host.
Ajá.
Sí, pero ya ahora estamos en la reunión, ya no
y
puedes
entonces ya no.
Las propiedades
sí,
de, la,
ya no.
de la reunión.
Sí.
Okay.
Ya no se puede. Creo que lo ideal es hacer eso.
Okay.
Sí, pero bueno, tener presente entonces que el que sea host, entonces tiene que ir admitiendo a todos los demás estudiantes.
Sí, sí, sí. Ahorita por lo pronto yo estoy como host y ya cuando sea el turno de Heriberto, yo lo hago host a él y luego ya él te haría a ti y así sucesivamente. ¿Sí? ¿Te parece bien?
Perfecto.
Ok, perfecto. Ya empiezo a agregar a la gente. Ok, perfecto. Adelante.
Sorry, teachers. It took me out.
No problem.
So are we going? Are we about to start, or I was going to continue this, teachers?
No, we are going to start. We are going to start.
Okay, right. Perfect.
We're ready.
Yeah, we're ready. Totally.
Hola, muy buenos días, comunidad estudiantil y personal académico y administrativo que el día de hoy nos honra con su presencia. Es para mí un gusto y un placer presentar las conferencias del día de hoy para el tercer día de la semana UNICAD, Semana Académica, Cultural y Deportiva. En esta ocasión continuaremos con la conferencia para el programa educativo de mecatrónica con el tema automatización de procesos por el ponente, el ingeniero en mecatrónica Adonai Rosas Vilchis, para lo cual procederé a leer parte de su currículum vitae. El perfil profesional es como ingeniero en mecatrónica, ha trabajado en áreas de programación de robots y dispositivos electrónicos en proyectos relacionados con
Perdón, me parece que se metió otra persona. Entonces,
Si somos tan amables de poner los micrófonos en silencio para la persona que va a dar la introducción pueda dar comienzo. Ok, está con nosotros ya el profesor, el rector que va a dar las palabras de bienvenida.
aún no.
Ok. Directora Mónica, ¿nos haría el honor, por favor?
Muchas gracias, maestra Jacqueline. Mientras llega el rector de la Universidad Politécnica de Gómez Palacio, bueno, pues a nombre de todos los rectores de las universidades tecnológicas en el estado de Durango y de la Universidad Politécnica de Gómez Palacio, bueno, pues es un honor para mí darles la bienvenida a este primer foro internacional bilingüe, internacional y sustentable del estado de Durango 2021. Bueno, este foro internacional pues se hizo con el objetivo de promover y concientizar a la comunidad universitaria y en colaboración con las universidades tecnológicas y politécnicas del estado de Durango, se pretende con este foro internacional contar con la presencia de expositores nacionales e internacionales que apoyarán impartiendo una serie de conferencias sobre diversos temas de importancia de impacto mundial, como es el de equidad de género, inclusión, discriminación y sustentabilidad. Esperemos tener mucho éxito en este primer foro internacional del estado de Durango, contar con la presencia de estudiantes, de docentes, de personal administrativo, pero sobre todo de jóvenes que estén interesados en la internacionalización en el estado de Durango, que tengan una visión diferente para que puedan compartir no solamente la cultura, sino también el idioma de otros países. Nosotros en estas universidades tecnológicas, como la palabra lo dice, bilingüe, internacional y sustentable, el idioma que pretende que los jóvenes aprendan es el inglés como segunda lengua. Entonces, con esta herramienta, los jóvenes pueden acceder a programas internacionales a diferentes países como Canadá, como Estados Unidos, inclusive en Europa, Inglaterra, Alemania y otros países con los que tenemos convenio entre las mismas universidades. Los jóvenes pueden compartir estas experiencias, tener no solamente, como les decía, lo que es el que tengan la experiencia del aprendizaje de un segundo idioma, sino también el que puedan compartir la cultura con los demás países. Es una experiencia única los que pueden vivir esta internacionalización, y ahora con estos medios digitales, bueno, el problema de la pandemia y los problemas de salud que hemos tenido a nivel mundial no nos han detenido, porque la internacionalización sigue de forma virtual. Hay universidades que quieren compartir con nosotros ese tipo de experiencia y lo hacen de forma virtual a través de los medios digitales. Creo que ya el área educativa, los docentes, los administrativos, los estudiantes nos hemos acostumbrado a este tipo de tecnología, nos vamos haciendo cada vez un poco más expertos, siempre pues con algunos problemas de internet y demás, pero bueno, ¿por qué no continuar con este tipo de internacionalización a través de los medios digitales? Agradezco a todos la presencia en nombre de los rectores de las universidades tecnológicas y politécnicas del estado de Durango, y bueno, pues les deseamos mucho éxito en todas las actividades que se van a realizar durante este primer foro. Esperemos contar con más tipo de eventos y actividades para beneficio de nuestros estudiantes. Muchas gracias, maestra. Gracias a todos. Y bueno, pues les cedo la palabra. Que tengan muy buen inicio de actividades.
Muchas gracias, ingeniero Mónica. Ahora pasamos a unas palabras de parte del rector de la Universidad Tecnológica de Puanas. No sé si ya esté por ahí el rector. Con gusto lo escuchamos.
Hola, muy buenos días tengan todos y cada uno de ustedes, quienes el día de hoy están participando en este primer Foro Internacional BIS del Estado de Durango 2021. Como siempre es ocupación y preocupación de nuestras instituciones el fortalecer las relaciones interinstitucionales. Este foro es una magnífica oportunidad, el cual tiene por objetivo promover y concientizar a la comunidad universitaria. Las universidades tecnológicas y politécnicas de nuestro gobierno del Estado de Durango llevan a cabo el primer Foro Internacional BIS, en el cual se pretende contar con la presencia de expositores nacionales e internacionales que apoyarán impartiendo una serie de conferencias sobre temas de gran importancia e impacto mundial como lo son la equidad de género, la inclusión, la discriminación y la sustentabilidad. Todo esto con el objetivo de sensibilizar a la audiencia sobre los hechos que dieron origen, que muestran los avances y lo que aún nos falta por lograr como sociedad. La Universidad Tecnológica de Puanas se congratula en participar conjuntamente con las universidades tecnológicas que tienen el esquema bilingüe, como lo son la UT Laguna, la UT Durango y la Universidad Politécnica de Gómez Palacio. Para nosotros participar en este primer foro es una gran valía y yo espero que nuestros jóvenes y participantes aprovechen al máximo las experiencias que los expositores nos estarán regalando. De parte de la Universidad Tecnológica de Puanas, les agradecemos su presencia y los invitamos a permanecer en todo momento en el programa que se organizó de este primer Foro Internacional Bilingüe del Estado de Durango 2021. La Universidad Tecnológica de Puanas abre sus puertas para todos ustedes. Muchas gracias y excelente día.
Muchas gracias, ingeniero Francisco. Sea usted bienvenido a nuestro primer foro internacional. Muchas gracias por sus palabras.
Nature needs your care. Animals need your attention. People need your light. The world needs your love. Dear guests, teachers who kindly supported the organization of this international forum, and dear audience, at these universities, we carry within us all the mystical power we need to transform the world. Universidad Tecnológica de Durango, Universidad Politécnica de Gómez Palacio, Universidad Tecnológica de Puanas, and Universidad Tecnológica de la Laguna Durango are honored to have four excellent speakers who will talk about interesting topics related to what characterizes us as these universities.
It's also a pleasure to welcome my fellow organizers. Jacqueline Hill, who is the head of the language department at the Universidad Tecnológica de la Laguna Durango. Luis Antonio Jiménez Rendón, language coordinator at Universidad Politécnica de Gómez Palacio. Carlos Manuel Leiva Serrano, who coordinates the language department at Universidad Tecnológica de Puanas. And myself, Daniel Zamora, who I am the head of the mobility department at Universidad Tecnológica de Durango. I am also glad to welcome an excellent English teacher who will be the moderator in this first international forum of the Universidades Tecnológicas y Politécnicas del Estado de Durango, Mr. Heriberto Alvarado Salas. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Teacher Heriberto, the microphone is yours.
It is not what the world can give you. It's about what you can give back to the world. In this very first forum of international sustainability by the universities, we will welcome our panel of very interested and qualified speakers who will each give us a very insightful and clear knowledge about topics that we should all be concerned with. First of all, sustainability. Please, let's welcome Ms. Ariadna Shraneva, who will be presenting us this wonderful and most important, among all the rest, of course, not to take away importance from all of the other participants. We will hear how sustainability can really help us, and not only ourselves, but also everyone else in the world. Before we listen to the actual speaker, I would like to play a little video to introduce this wonderful speaker's background and qualifications. So join me in watching, please, this wonderful video that will be presented. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for being here. It is a huge pleasure for me to share this event with you. Thank you so much to Universidad Tecnológica de Durango for the invitation. And my heart is with Durango, my heart is with Mexico. I had the opportunity to be in Durango in 2019, and it was an amazing experience. So this is the way to build the links between countries, among nations. So I was invited to speak about sustainability today. And I also invited my colleague, Marcelo Alves, who has more than 10 years experience in the subject. So we will briefly talk about sustainability as the concept, what it is, what it really is. And then we're going to touch on how is sustainability dealt with in Canada, in the province of British Columbia, that's where we are, in the city of Victoria, that's where we are, and at Royal Roads University, which is the university we represent today. So I would first like to give my colleague Marcelo the possibility to share this screen. So let me say, Marcelo, are you there? So I'm gonna make Marcelo host so he can share the screen. Okay.
Hello, good morning.
We're all set.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, we can see you.
Can you see my screen? I'm sharing just one slide here.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Thank you, Ariadna. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity. I will not take too long to introduce this topic from our perspective at Royal Roads. I have worked with sustainability for over 10 years, and I have a background in the financial sector. So I'm not from the environment or the social fields. I came from the business side, and I had to learn how complex are the topics related to sustainability. But in short, what I'd like to start here to share with you is that about sustainability, there are many buzzwords. So we talk about environment, we talk about energy, renewables, new materials, the future, the globe, new generations, and the nature, the power of the sun, the wind, and so on. And my question is, how many more words we need? We have been talking about sustainability for years and decades, and the challenge is already ahead of us. So we already know that what is not sustainability, and there is not a problem if you like it, is sustainability is not about hugging trees or kissing whales. We have a lot of whales here in Canada, in our waters, but the point is the world, the economy, the society is facing huge challenges, and it's not only about to be good or to do less harm to the nature. The challenge is much more complex. How we interact the dimensions of the economic impact with the social impact and the environmental impact. This is a big question mark. How can we address those challenges? Here at Railroads, one of our major schools is to investigate, to study, and to teach about how to make it feasible or meaningful or real life for people working from different backgrounds. So we understand that much more than one wave, there are a second, a third, and a fourth wave. This is a chart from a newspaper saying that we are here in our town, just saying, okay, wash your hands, use sanitizers because the COVID wave hit us. But behind that, there is recession, there is the climate change, and also the biodiversity collapse. What we are facing now, it's a much more complex system of variables that we have to manage. So if you are studying engineering, or if you are studying business, or any other program that you are studying, you have already noticed eventually that you cannot fix a problem with just one field of study. Traditionally, as industrial society, we think that we could fix things. And we suddenly understood that it's not a matter of watch repair. So it's not about mechanics. It's not about fixing things. So I used to say that we are not watch repairs, people work with sustainability. To work with sustainability, we need a much more complex analysis or holistic approach to understand all things related. So for example, you can fix a watch, you can fix a car, you can fix a gear, you can fix any machine to return it to its original purpose and capacity to do whatever it was designed to do. Whereas when we are talking about a garden or forest, you cannot fix it. You can manage, you can find equilibrium, balance between different species, different season, watering, and so on. And what we do here and what we are learning to do are actually is to deal with this complexity in a very broad way. So for example, we have the global society interact with employees of our organization. The organization also has their clients and the government too, and the media, suppliers, the environment, the community, and the unions. So all stakeholders, they have their own needs, their own interests, and the challenge is to learn, to adapt, and to operate in this complex system, which means that when we are talking about sustainability, for example, at Railroads, we do not teach only one field. We encourage our students to go outside, to visit the field, to interact, to learn about leadership, to learn about business, to know about science, environment, laws, and social justice. It's not only about, again, to reduce the impact. I used to say that it's not doing less harm, but to do good things. With that said, I'd like to ask Ariadna to just give you a snapshot of what we are experiencing here at Railroads. But if you have time later to visit, our website have the master degrees and the bachelor's degrees in environment and sustainable practice. So I'm returning to you, and then we have time for questions and answers later.
Okay, thank you so much, Marcelo, for your presentation. And on the same note, Marcelo, I wanted to talk a little bit about what we are doing at Royal Roads University as a university to contribute to sustainability. When we talk about sustainability, we think, oh, it's the responsibility of the government. It is responsibility of others. We put our responsibility on the other side. However, what are you doing as an individual? And when I'm asking this question, I'm asking to you all, what are you doing to make this world better? It starts with you as an individual. I was thinking during all this week, I've been thinking, so what part of my human activity can I change? Can I transform to help improve the world? At Royal Roads University, we are now using this term that is called regenerative sustainability. And it's actually a new term. We always talk about sustainability, but we have been adding the regenerative, which means that it's not about not causing harm or reducing the harm that humans beings are doing on the environment, but actually contributing to the betterment, to the improvement of the environment of the world, to the improvement of all human activities, like in the social scale, in the environmental scale, and in the economic scale. So it's not about not causing any harm. It's all about making good. So when you do something, when you're doing an economic activity, for instance, try to do it in a way that you leave things much better than what you found, how you found them. And this is the new concept that we're dealing with at Royal Roads University, and we're trying that all our programs have this perspective. And also it's very important to know that, and we all know this with COVID-19, that what happens to an individual in the world can affect the entire world, can affect all our systems. So we have to be very careful on the way we act. So we have to react in a positive way in order to improve the conditions for our generation and for the future generations. So I want to talk to about a little bit about what Canada is doing in regards to sustainability. Of course, Canada is a member of the United Nations, and they are in agreement with all what countries are doing in regard to sustainability. But as a first world country or as a developed country, they have a bigger responsibility. So they have signed all the agreements that the United Nations have asked all the countries to sign. And also they have a strategy that is renewed every 3 years that is called the Federal Sustainability Strategy, Federal Sustainability Development Strategy. And in that sustainability strategy, they have, and those 13 goals, they cover everything. How to care for water, how to care for the environment in general, how to care for the human activity, how to care for the carbon emissions. So it's up to the federal government of the government of Canada to implement this strategy. But of course, then it goes to the provinces of Canada. And then every province will have their own strategy. And then it becomes into actions. What are they doing? What is every province doing to reduce or to protect the waters, to reduce carbon emissions, to protect the human life, to protect the animal life? And so every province has its own strategy as well. Something interesting that the government of Canada is doing is that putting a price on carbon emissions. So every province can decide how much the companies need to pay to be able to emit carbon. This is a very interesting approach. Also taxing those companies that have high carbon emissions. Another thing that I found very interesting is that Canada is hoping to reduce to use electric vehicles by 240. So we're hoping that by that time, all vehicles, say cars or trucks, will be electric. So in that way, we reduce the carbon emissions. Something very interesting that I found is that we're very concerned about what is going on in Canada in the last 15 years. We've been noticing that the level of seawaters are increasing considerably. We're having more wildfires every summer. Last year and the year before, they were very intense in the province of British Columbia, in the province of Alberta. We're seeing more tornadoes. We're seeing that the amount of snow is decreasing considerably. And this is very concerning for us because we have populations of indigenous populations in the north of the country. You know, Canada is the second largest country in the world. So at the very north, with the snow, since the snow is melting, there is not enough. So what is happening to the indigenous population is that they have no way to reach to sources of food. And this is very concerning because we're talking about entire communities that have no sources of food. We're also concerned about the quality of our waters. Because for instance, many indigenous communities in Canada, you would be surprised, have no access to clean water. And this is very concerning. The way we fish, are we taking too much fish out of our lakes, out of our rivers, out of the ocean? How is this impacting not only Canada, but the entire world? We are seeing that there is a lot more spread of diseases, and we're seeing this with COVID-19, how we can stop this. So the government of Canada is concerned about this, and we know that we have a role to play, not only in Canada, but in the world. So we are actively participating and not only liaising with governments, but also with non-governmental organizations, with local governments, with indigenous populations, with students, with faculty, but it's also about you as an individual, what you are doing. I was thinking even today, what can I do to reduce my impact on the environment? And I said, okay, if I eat less meat, and let me tell you, I love red meat. But if I eat less meat, will that have an impact on the environment? Yes, it will. So it's too little time to talk about the so many things that comprise sustainability as a concept. But yeah, I want you to know that what you do as an individual matters. And please have this concept in mind that it's not only about sustainability, but also about regenerative sustainability. So try to live your environment better than when you found it. So please, everything you do, do it with this in mind. And it's up to us at the universities to teach these things. And so we can teach our children to take care of the amazing world we live in. So yes, I want to give all these concepts for you to take into consideration, and looking forward to the questions and answers. I know many of you have your own criteria, and I'm happy to share with you and to start a discussion. So back to you, Jacqueline, Daniel, and looking forward to our discussion. Thank you, Marcelo, again.
Thank you very much, Ariana. Okay, so we're going back to Heriberto for the presentation of the next panelist, please.
Without a doubt, sustainability is one of these key aspects that we need to look at for in the future. As it was mentioned, it's not about how much we can take from the planet or how much we try to fix. It's how much we can give back to it and make sure that it is doing well. Thank you very much to Mr. Marcelo and Ms. Ariana for your great participation. Gender equality is not a woman's fight, it's a human's fight. Next, we will hear our next representative, who is Mr. Felix Alejandro Cifuentes Santiago, who will be presenting the next symposium with the title Gender Equality. But before we continue and we listen to him directly, let's watch an introduction video about our great speaker. Miss Ariadna, could you do me a great favor and make me host so I can share the video? Thank you.
Okay, Heriberto? Heriberto Alvarado?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're now host.
Okay, well, hello everybody. It's a pleasure for me being here today with you. Well, I hope this time that we are going to have together maybe enjoyable, right? And you can learn a lot about this topic, which is one of the most important topics nowadays, because it, as the introduction said, is not just an aspect of just women, right? It's also an aspect of human beings, of human responsibility. Okay, so I really hope you enjoying this topic, and well, let's start in this way, this little conference that I have prepared for you. I will share my screen a little bit here so you can see my presentation. Please someone tell me if you can see it well, if there's nothing wrong here.
Yes, sir, we have
okay.
Good visual.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, so let's begin. I want to start this little conference, this talk, giving you a speech, which is very important because this is it's the speech of a prisoner on a jail in the United States, which also explains a lot what this movement tries to change in the world, or to change in us, and it's in this way. This is the quote. It says, "I don't want to feel anymore as if I couldn't feel. I want to be able to cry for my dead sister. I want to have the capability to feel because I cannot see my mother. I don't want to feel anymore as a man who has no emotions. I want to feel as myself. I don't want to be afraid for being who I really am." Okay, right. So let's begin with this. This is a quote, okay, said by a prisoner, as I told you, on El Círculo. El Círculo is a special group, right, for prisoners in United States on Folsom Jail, which is dedicated for letting them to talk about themselves, about their feelings, about what are they feeling there in the jail, what are they feeling in a society, because we can call that a society, we can call it a community, okay, which forces them to be violent, to be alpha men, if we can call them that way, right? That if you cannot go and punch the other guy, then you are nothing. And I want to start this little conference with this topic, because when we talk about gender equity and not equality, I have to mention that difference because it makes a difference. It's not a topic about just women versus men. It's a topic about violence, about who we are and what are we doing with our society, right? How we are letting violence to enter in this in our hearts, in our minds, right? And makes us to behave in some way with others that surround us, right? So I want to start with that aspect. But first of all, I think that it's very important to clarify what is equality and what is equity. Now, this is a perfect image that many of you maybe have watched, I don't know, someday or anything. Okay, because it's very popular. You can find this in the internet and it's beautiful, right? So I don't want to spend a lot of time to explain the difference in this way. I mean, you have in there, right? The equality is something that gives you the tools, but gives you the tools not considering your abilities, your skills, your abilities, your capabilities, etc. Right? So according with that, it's obvious that in some way, some people are going to enjoy the moments better than others, right? On the other hand, equity is not that. Equity wants the real equality, right? Gives all the people the same exactly opportunities according with their necessities. So everybody can enjoy the same, right? The same point. Okay. Now, a gender equity, as we define in that way, we have to first of all, define what is this or what is gender in this case. I don't want to touch it a lot also, but I want to mention it, all right? So gender, technically, is what we really are, who we choose to be, okay? And not just in a sexual way, but also in the way that you can identify on the society. What is your role, okay? What role are you going to play in this enormous theater, which is the world? So when we call about gender, we are not calling about a woman and a man. No, we are calling about who you choose to be. That is what we understand as gender. And that's why on the movement LGBTQ, it's a lot of letters, okay? Because that's why it says that initials includes a plus symbol, because it's not limited on that. It's limited on, it has no limits technically. Right? It's until you want to go there. So that's what we have to start watching with that eyes, that thing. And as long or as soon as we can start doing that, okay, we are going to give one step more onto the respect for the others, not just for the decisions they took, but also by what they really are as people. So I want to touch a very popular terminology, right? These words that are so popular nowadays, which is feminism and sexism. Now, I set in parentheses here the word in Spanish that I'm not going to call because this is a BIS conference, but there's a little different on these words, right? The one in Spanish and the one in English. But technically, they have the same. They represent technically the same, right? But there are a small difference, which these ones I will invite you to investigate and to read about them, right? But well, let's touch this. What are them? What's feminism or sexism? Okay, first of all, popularly and on a bad view, right, on a wrong view, okay, we can define them, or we can define the feminism and sexism as two forces, two movements that are continuously fighting each other, fighting each against the other. But the real thing is that it's not that, right? One of them, it's not a movement, but it's a philosophy that have been on our minds for many, many, many years. I will say for millennials or centuries also. The other one, it's a movement, it's a force that is opposing to the first one. Okay, so we have to see it that way. One was already born many, many years ago. The other one is going to respond to that one because we are living on a world that requires to pay more attention on our feelings if we want to be happy people in our lives. So what we commonly define as feminism, or what you can find as feminism in social networks, is not exactly what you see there, because people will always tell you their perspective, their own perspective, and of course, perspectives are infinite. Every single person has a different perspective about a certain topic. So it's not just about that. It's much more about it. All the movements, all the march, all these people gathering on plazas and on parks, right, and fighting for their rights. That's what is the feminism, and that's what is not just this one, but also other movements here. So that's a very important aspect here. There are a lot of books that we can check in here, right, for about the topic and all of that. And I will invite you to read a little bit about this, because you will see that this is not a problem of men versus women, that women want to do the same that men do. It's not that. It's about to respect what we are, who we are, and give us the chance of being what we choose to be in that way. Independently, if it's a woman, if it's a man, if it's homosexual, a transsexual guy, whatever, doesn't matter. It's all about respecting for letting us to be happy. But well, this is not exactly the problem. Where's the problem? What's the genesis of this problem? So if this is the philosophy of gender equity, then why we are not respecting that? Why we are not achieving that goal of being a more united society? Well, we can answer that question with this little word, which is violence. And I want to set not an example, but a fact in this way in our minds today. Anytime that we see no gender equality, is a step backward, or it's a step forward for allowing violence to get again into our lives. But what is it about? Why I'm touching that point? Why I'm calling this phenomenon in this speech? Well, it's very easy. I want you to have these definitions that I found about violence, and they say this: intentional action or omission which leads to a damage, transgresses a right, and looks for the submission or control of a victim. That's one of them. Second one, credible threat of the use of force or threat, or the real use of that force resulting in causing damage. And the other one is the damage may not just be physical. Well, this is more. This is not more a definition. It's like a review of this. The damage may not be physical, but psychological, sexual, or economic. Now, we already know that because we have taken a lot of courses or a lot of speeches about this, about violence against women, etc. But I want to say that this is the problem, because the cancer that if we can define it that way, that avoids us of getting the real gender equality, is a necessity that we have of exposing violence out of us. And unfortunately, we express violence on the way that we have learned on our childhood. And this starts being a chain, an infinite chain that keeps going with the next generation and with our children, with our sons, with our daughters, etc., etc. And it continues on an interminable loop in this way. Right, so what is this? Violence is not just the physical threat or the physical damage that we have always known, but it's also defined into different ways. The ways that we can define it is direct and indirect violence. Now we have to see first the first of all, the direct violence, which this one talks about physical damage. The physical damage that we already know, you can see there is the first image. That's nothing that we are that we don't know, that we have already known for this. But the other ones are very interesting. In this way, the indirect violence, right, which can also be subdivided into structural and cultural. Now, this is very interesting because knowing from where the violence comes, we will see why we cannot get totally into the gender equity, but more important, what is the first step that we have to make in order to go forward into the gender equity? Now, it's very interesting. The structural, we can find it with this example, the Black Lives Matter. So what is a structural? The structural, we can consider it as the normally cultural. That structural violence is violence that negates you the rights, the elemental rights, or your basic necessities. In this one, there's no justice. We can find just that we are taking advantage over other people because we consider that the rights are not enough, that our rights are, for example, superior, theirs are not enough good or whatever. Okay, there's no justice. Okay, so there's an exploding of these people in this way. So this is an example because we have found on the recent cases in the United States that Black lives, with this movement of Black Lives Matter, that there's obviously an abuse of these rights for a specific amount of people. Now, the second one, which is a cultural, it's a more tiny, well, not tiny, it's huge, but it's not easy identified violence that we see day by day in our daily life. Okay, and this is one of the examples. Now, the cultural violence says apply unnecessary requirements for a specific purpose, or because you consider that the rights of that person are not as well as yours. It's technically the same, but in a different way. It's applied in a different way. So until the moment that we are not understanding this, what are these? What's the definition of this kind of violences? We are not going to be able to go forward in this movement, in this progression, this progressive movement. Okay, and we are not going to heal our society. So the first thing that we have to do is to understand why we are behaving like this. Now, here's a perfect example. Maybe some of you identify this cartoon. Okay, it's an adult's cartoon. Okay, first of all, I have to say that. But it's bright because many chapters of this TV show shows us the real illness of the society. What's wrong with the society? all right? And this episode is perfect. It's about, it's from, I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but it's like about the 21st season. I don't remember well, but it's cool because in this is a perfect example of how society applies a cultural violence versus women, against women, sorry. Okay. In the context, in this episode, the kids are playing Dungeons and Dragons, a popular game, all right? And the girls want to play with them. But when they come to the room to play with the kids, with the boys, all right, they start to giving them excuses by telling them that they cannot play because their set is not complete, because their characters are not painted, because the little figures are incorrect, etc., etc. But the girls are all the time. I mean, how can I say it? Well, are all the time complaining with all the requirements that they set there, right? So that's a perfect example of gender inequity in this case. And not just that, but also cultural violence, because it's not easy to see this kind of violence, but it's there. And I want to finish this exposition with this phrase, all right, with this quote, which says, "Childhood is fate." We actually, in psychology, we say this a lot, that childhood is fate, because as the way that you were raised by your parents, by your childhood, is a way as by which many of your decisions are going to be taken in your life. But that's not totally, okay, an excuse. It's your responsibility for changing that. Yeah, well, I had not the best, I didn't have the best education, or maybe my parents weren't there for me all the time and all of that. Okay, yes, I have a serious damage on my feelings, on my history. Yeah, but that's not the excuse for behaving or for continuing with the loop of violence over and over and over again. Because what we are going to do at the end is just to provoke or to cause that this stays, and that our society, it will be impossible for our society to heal well. So at the end, this is like a jail. The violence is a jail. Now, the problem is not the gender equity. The problem is that the violence which generates it's the jail that takes us in a dark place, all the time blind, ignoring others' feelings and ignoring others' rights and the empathy. And that's it. Thank you very much.
We would like to thank Mr. Felix for giving us this wonderful information about gender equality. Obviously, like he said, this is one of the key aspects in our current age and how we are fighting to have this equality between people. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. It's a pleasure.
How are you feeling, guys, so far in this first international forum amongst the universities? Without a doubt, it has been very insightful, and a lot of information that has been given, we can surely apply to. Now, to continue with this, let's emphasize the fact that we are, in fact, in an international forum. Por lo tanto, la siguiente participación será llevada a cabo en español. Dime cómo hacer una cosa y lo olvidaré. Enséñame y puede que lo recuerde. Involúcrame y aprenderé. La siguiente participación trata de la inclusión. Y en esta ocasión escucharemos a Suine Omar Guillén Díaz, quien estará hablando de este tan importante tema. Pero antes de hacerlo, vamos a ver un pequeño video para la introducción de este orador. Mr. Felix, could you please make me host so I can share the video? The full name, Heriberto Alvarado Salas. Mr. Daniel, I don't know if the speaker is ready.
Yeah, I believe so. Carlos, are you over there? Let me check. Yeah, I think he's there, but there is no sound. The thing is that I think you are in mute. It says that you are in mute. Okay, it's not in mute anymore, but I don't think we have a sound.
Muy buenas tardes.
Okay, good.
Desde la Universidad Tecnológica de Poanas les presentaremos un tema bastante interesante. Lo presentaré en castellano, dado que analizaremos lo que es el caso de igualdad de género en el ámbito laboral, lo que es México y España. Vamos a analizar las diferentes diferencias que pueden existir y cómo nuestro país necesita avanzar bastante en este aspecto. ¿Me pueden habilitar, por favor, la presentación? Muy bien, bueno, como les comentaba, el tema es la igualdad de género en el entorno laboral, directamente el caso de México y España. Analizaremos ambos casos de manera breve y, bueno, veremos los retos a los que nos estamos enfrentando actualmente. Vamos a la siguiente. Primeramente, analicemos lo que vemos el día a día en nuestro México. Aquí tenemos algunos casos de noticias realmente preocupantes de lo que está pasando en nuestro país. Por ejemplo, según El Economista, un periódico de circulación nacional bastante importante, menciona que prevalece lo que es la baja participación de la mujer en la economía. De acuerdo a lo que es la igualdad de género, México ocupa el último lugar en igualdad de género laboral en América Latina. Un aspecto realmente preocupante al ser una economía tan importante en esta región y cómo se ha estado quedando rezagado en cuanto a lo que es la igualdad de género. Otra noticia que nos llama la atención de este mismo periódico es que solo el 30% de las empresas en México son intencionalmente inclusivas. Quiere decir que el 30% nada más está preocupada en realmente ser parte de esta inclusión, de poder hacer un balance entre lo que es los puestos de trabajo entre hombres y mujeres. Otra noticia es cómo aumenta esta brecha laboral entre las mujeres y los hombres y cómo el 55% de las mujeres en edad de trabajar se encuentra fuera de la vida económica. Esto es realmente preocupante, es un aspecto que llama bastante la atención, porque vemos cómo el 55% de la población económicamente activa del sexo femenino está fuera de lo que es la vida económica. La mitad de las mujeres de la población económicamente activa están dentro de esta brecha laboral que es bastante grande, que favorece directamente al hombre. Y bueno, una última noticia que analizamos aquí es que la Asociación Ejecutivas de América Latina prevé lo que son los retrocesos en las promociones para mujeres. Según una encuesta que se realizó, 1000 directivas de México, Chile, Colombia y Perú, 87% de ellas vislumbran ese trato favorecedor para los hombres. Como vemos en este conjunto de noticias, la situación de nuestro México es bastante preocupante. Aquí vemos cómo la brecha laboral entre lo que es el hombre y la mujer es bastante grande. Vemos cómo las posibilidades para trabajar en México en cuanto a las mujeres, pues es bastante complicado. Ahora vamos a ver la misma dinámica, pero el caso de España, que es precisamente la comparación. Analizaremos de igual manera diferentes noticias que nos dan una idea de cómo está la situación actual y futura en cuanto a este tema. Por ejemplo, el periódico Info nos menciona cómo la igualdad de género es clave para un progreso sostenible. ¿Esto qué nos enseña? Bueno, que directamente lo que es España o en general la Unión Europea se preocupa porque el progreso a futuro esté basado en lo que es la igualdad de género. Nadia Calviño, que es la ministra española de Economía, mencionó precisamente que la igualdad de género es fundamental para que se logre este progreso. Incluso Michelle Bachelet, miembro de la ONU, calificó esto como algo imperativamente urgente. Entonces vemos cómo, a diferencia de nuestros países latinoamericanos, lo que es la Unión Europea se está preocupando por ver el progreso que se puede lograr al tener precisamente esa igualdad, esas condiciones favorables entre lo que son los hombres y las mujeres. Otra noticia que nos llama la atención es precisamente la que menciona el periódico de la Comunidad Autónoma de Aragón. Menciona cómo en el Día Internacional de la Mujer en la Ingeniería se le da voz precisamente a este tipo de mujeres que trabajan en este sector. ¿Por qué nos llama la atención esto? Bueno, nosotros al estar aquí dentro de nuestro país, un país con una cultura bastante paternalista, bastante arraigada en cuanto al trato favorecedor al hombre, vemos como ciertos sectores del empleo, como puede ser la ingeniería, como puede ser la minería o algunos otros casos, pues favorecen directamente a lo que es el hombre. Como vemos en este caso, en España poco a poco se ha ido avanzando a que este tipo de barreras se vayan rompiendo. que cada vez la mujer vaya creciendo en este tipo de trabajos que antes pues se favorecía directamente a lo que es el hombre. España viene de una etapa complicada, después de una guerra civil durante los años 50, 60, en los que el machismo, lo que es el trato favorecedor al hombre, derivado de la época franquista, pues causaron que este tipo de situaciones estuvieran arraigadas. Sin embargo, poco a poco, como vemos, se ha ido avanzando y se ha ido cambiando esta mentalidad que se tenía bastante arraigada dentro de la población. Bueno, otra noticia que nos llama la atención es cómo las pequeñas y medianas empresas de España han mejorado precisamente su desempeño y sostenibilidad causa de esta igualdad de género. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Los sectores más pequeños de las industrias han visto cómo la igualdad de género es una oportunidad para el crecimiento. Han sabido explotar precisamente este potencial de mujeres y de hombres y creado precisamente este balance para que el crecimiento y la sostenibilidad de sus empresas crezca en función de esto. Bueno, una última noticia que analizamos es cómo la igualdad de género impulsaría, si se aplicara del todo en España, un 18,5% del Producto Interno Bruto y crearía 3.2 millones de empleos. Esto precisamente es algo importante porque, de acuerdo al Banco Mundial, si se tuviera este balance, esta igualdad de género entre los hombres y las mujeres, no solamente estaríamos vislumbrando un mundo más justo, sino que además de ello, este crecimiento se vería reflejado en todo el Producto Interno Bruto de los países que así lo aplicaran. Muy bien. Bueno, algunos datos importantes que precisamente fueron sacados de este informe del Banco Mundial del año 2019 es precisamente, por ejemplo, algo preocupante, que a nivel mundial las mujeres solamente se le reconocen 3/4 partes de los derechos legales de los que gozan los hombres. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Que seguimos rezagados en este aspecto, seguimos dejando de lado los derechos laborales de la mujer y dando prioridad a los derechos del hombre. Esto causa, sin duda, lo que mencionamos al principio, una brecha bastante grande. También, actualmente, solamente 6 economías a nivel mundial, lo que es Bélgica, Dinamarca, Francia, Letonia y Luxemburgo, y Suecia, perdón, han obtenido una puntuación perfecta de 100 puntos en lo que es la igualdad, lo cual significa que se reconoce a hombres y mujeres dentro de los mismos derechos laborales. Esto es bastante preocupante porque estamos hablando que de todos los países del globo terráqueo, solamente 6 economías se están preocupando porque los derechos del hombre y la mujer sean iguales. Además de esto, nos habla este informe de cómo 56 países pertenecientes a todas las regiones del mundo y niveles de ingreso no han adoptado ningún tipo de reforma para mejorar esta igualdad de oportunidades en 10 años. Entonces vemos cómo esto se sigue rezagando. 10 años y no se ha hecho nada en 56 países. Sin duda, datos bastante preocupantes y que nos deben de poner a pensar en cómo se puede solucionar este tipo de situaciones. ¿Qué pasa directamente con México? Tenemos aquí una gráfica que precisamente del lado izquierdo nos muestra lo que son los salarios medios y precisamente el nivel de ocupación en función de 12 años, del 2006 al 2018. Vemos lo que es la línea azul, que es el total de la población ocupada, el total de la población laboral medio, y vemos lo que es la línea naranja, que es precisamente la ocupación media por hombres, y la línea verde, la ocupación media por mujeres. Vemos que para el año más reciente de este estudio, el 2018, la mujer gana un aproximado de 3.400, 3.500 pesos, mientras que el hombre vemos que tiene un sueldo medio entre 4.300, 4.400 pesos. Es decir, estamos hablando de un salto de 1,000 pesos. Algo a lo mejor que nos parece no tan alto, pero que estamos hablando de una brecha, solamente por tener un género distinto. Además de esto, el INEGI nos comenta cómo en este estudio realizado en el año 2019, que las mujeres trabajan menos horas con remuneración. Los hombres trabajan en promedio lo que son 42,75 horas semanales, mientras que las mujeres lo hacen por 37,86 horas. Entonces vemos cómo al hombre se le sigue dando prioridad en cuanto a ofrecerle más horas de trabajo, en cuanto a darle la posibilidad de crecer más. Además, algo también que nos habla de esto es el tiempo destinado al trabajo del hogar. La mentalidad de antaño que se suele tener es que la mujer tiene que estar en casa. Tiene que estar en casa y tiene que estar trabajando en el hogar. Este tipo de paradigma hay que romperlo. Sin embargo, en nuestro país, los datos en cuanto al trabajo en el hogar nos mencionan que el hombre solamente dedica 12,18 horas semanales a lo que es el trabajo del hogar, mientras que la mujer son 3 veces más, que son 36,52 horas en el caso de las mujeres. Sin duda, un aspecto bastante preocupante y que hay que cambiar a la hora de ya. En comparación con España, de acuerdo a los datos que vimos anteriormente, ¿qué datos tenemos en cuanto a España, hablando de lo que es la igualdad de género? Por ejemplo, por poner un caso, el Parlamento de la Unión Europea, ubicado en Bélgica, gracias a lo que es el gobierno español, se ha tenido en estos últimos años el tercer parlamento más paritario de la Unión Europea, es decir, un equilibrio perfecto entre hombres y mujeres, dándole prioridad precisamente a estas ministras de gobierno, la mayoría siendo precisamente mujeres, y fue el gobierno con mayor porcentaje de ministras del mundo antes de abril del 2019. Vemos entonces cómo España se está preocupando por cambiar esta mentalidad, por cambiar este chip y entonces impulsar precisamente lo que es el equilibrio entre lo que es el hombre y la mujer. No un trato favorecido a la mujer, no se busca esto, sino ese equilibrio. Y entonces, ¿cómo se logra esto? Pues precisamente dando oportunidades a la mujer, oportunidades que antes no tenía. También un dato interesante es que, por ejemplo, para el curso 2016-2017 en las universidades españolas, en el aspecto educativo, las universitarias mujeres eran un 55%, es decir, había más mujeres estudiando que un 45% en cuanto a los universitarios. Vemos entonces cómo poco a poco se va logrando este equilibrio. Si se suele recordar, como les comentaba anteriormente, España viene de una guerra civil en la que lo que es el franquismo, lo que es la mentalidad cerrada de esos tiempos, no permitía estudiar a la mujer. Ahora vemos cómo esto está cambiando y cómo poco a poco se va equilibrando en el sistema también educativo español. Bueno, un dato también que es preocupante, que no todo es miel sobre hojuelas, como dicen por ahí, es que las mujeres dedican al trabajo doméstico y de cuidado no remunerado, en cuanto a su casa, a los hijos, 2 horas al día más que los hombres. Sin embargo, si lo comparamos con México, estamos hablando que semanalmente la mujer está dedicando mucho menos horas que en el caso de México. Y vemos cómo poco a poco se va inmiscuyendo también el hombre en este tipo de trabajo del hogar. Bueno, ¿qué retos tenemos ante nosotros? Analizando estos dos casos. Bueno, ¿qué se tiene que lograr? Sin duda vemos cómo se tiene que equilibrar esa brecha laboral entre géneros y esa brecha salarial. Es decir, por ser solamente de un género no se tiene que ganar más o se tiene que ganar menos. Al contrario, ese tiene que ser, como lo mencionaba anteriormente, un equilibrio en el que, de acuerdo a la valía de cada persona, de acuerdo a la experiencia de cada persona, se pueda asignar un sueldo y no que sea el género lo que determine el que se gane más o se gane menos. Además de esto, hay que fomentar la inclusión en trabajos que son comúnmente asignados al sexo masculino. Lo que mencionábamos anteriormente, aspectos como la ingeniería, la metalúrgica, la minería, todo este tipo de situaciones, todo este tipo de trabajos que antes se pensaba que solamente se podían hacer para el hombre por el hecho de una mentalidad equivocada de que el hombre tenía más fuerza, más capacidad. Ahora hay que romper ese paradigma, hay que romper esa forma de pensar y entonces fomentar esa inclusión, que las mujeres puedan ser parte de estos trabajos y puedan hacerlo de la mejor manera como lo hace un hombre. Además de esto, hay que fortalecer en el aspecto educativo el equilibrio y la igualdad entre los hombres y las mujeres. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Esto es sumamente importante, pues desde niños se tiene que educar a la población para que pueda comprender que la igualdad entre el hombre y la mujer desde las etapas más tempranas tiene que existir y que todos somos iguales y que todos debemos de tener las mismas oportunidades. Si se logra meter la mentalidad de las personas en las poblaciones más pequeñas este tipo de pensamientos, entonces será la manera en la que lograremos ese crecimiento tan anhelado y ese equilibrio que todos buscamos. De igual manera, otro reto es dejar de contemplar el género como un impedimento a la hora de buscar una oportunidad laboral. Esto suele ocurrir. A pesar de que vivamos en este siglo, sigue ocurriendo en el que ciertas empresas niegan alguna oportunidad laboral solamente por ser de un género o de otro. La inclusión precisamente nos indica esto. Al ser inclusivos, nosotros no nos vamos a fijar en eso. Tenemos que cambiar la mentalidad y tenemos que precisamente dejar que el género sea ese impedimento. Al contrario, fijarse en la valía de cada persona y entonces dar oportunidades laborales por igual a hombres y mujeres. Bueno, pues agradecerles su atención, agradecerles ser parte de este foro. Una presentación breve, pero bueno, pues cualquier cosa, ahí tienen mis datos y se puede, alguna pregunta o lo que sea, lo pueden enviar ahí de igual manera. Y bueno, muchas gracias.
Agradecemos la preparación y la forma de presentación del ingeniero Guillén Díaz y cómo nos ayuda a entender un poquito mejor qué es lo que tenemos que mejorar en este aspecto. Muchas gracias. For our final speaker, we will be discussing a very interesting topic that normally we only think about outside of our country, never really in our home. We will talk about discrimination. An interesting fact about discrimination is that it is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate our differences. To talk about this wonderful topic, we will listen to Mr. Sukdeep Singh. He is originally from India, so it will be very, very interesting to hear his ideas, opinions, and I'm sure experiences through this topic. But before we actually listen to him, let's watch a short video giving us an introduction about him. If I can ask our previous speakers to please give me the controls to make me host so I can share the video. Mr. Daniel, do you happen to have a host that you could share it with me, please?
Let me check. Okay. I think I had the video, so let me just play it as well. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Sir, it appears that the previous speaker has still a host. So if we could ask our friends from the university to give us the host, would be great.
Yes, I'm asking already Carlos, so he can help us out. Carlos, can you please make Heriberto Alvarado host so he can hear share the video, please? Yeah, he's doing that already. Okay.
Not yet, sir. So I don't know if you want to go ahead and continue with the speaker, or should we wait to play the video?
Let me check. He's saying that he's making you host. Okay. Let me just confirm that.
We would like to thank you for your patience. We are having some technical difficulties at the moment. I'm sure that it has all been very enjoyable and that we have all taken good information and good insight from the different topics. If we could just wait for a few more seconds so we can try to remedy these technical situations. Thank you very much.
Okay, Heriberto, I think your host ready.
Thank you.
Gracias, Carlos.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. Yes, I think you hear me. Okay. Thanks to all and thanks to God because he gave me a chance to be here in front of you. And thanks to Ms. Jackie who gave me this topic. to speak about discrimination. I think this topic is very good for me. And as you see that I'm not Mexican. So when you see my picture, you just your eyes were open because you see that I'm not look like a Mexican. I use turban. So let me share my screen with you. You see my screen? I'm not very good in Zoom. Okay, so my topic is discrimination. What is discrimination? Discrimination, in my eyes, is a crime. Let's see how. First, let's see the definition. Discrimination is an unfair or prejudicial treatment of people and a group based on characteristics such as race, gender, sexual orientation. And there are many other types like age discrimination, disability, religious, sexual, race, color, sex, male or female, or nationality. This topic is very good for me because when I arrived in Mexico, many people, they have no idea about where from I am. So they always ask me question, you are from Dubai, you are Sultan, you are Habibi. But it's not their mistake, it's because they have no idea. So I have to explain them that I'm from India. But the good thing is about Mexico, all people are very good. They are very kind. They always respect other religion, even they don't know. So now about our first one is discrimination. Some people, they don't like to give job to old people because they know that they don't work fast as young people. So that's why they discriminate. They don't think that they have a good experience. They have a high level of age. So they have a lot of experience. They don't check that. They just think they are slow. And because of this, they don't give them job. And the next one is a disability. We are living in a world where people have many disabilities. Some people, they can't see, some people, they can't walk, and some people, they have other disease. But thanks God that we have all. But we also need to be kind to other people. We have no right to discriminate them. If they don't see, we have to help them. If they don't have ability to ride, not to walk, we have to help them. Because only this thing, that with the kindness, we can do something. If we hate people, what we have? Nothing. Like in the Bible mentioned, if you have a power to speak, like God give us many gifts. If you have a power to speak in many languages, when I die, what benefits you have? Nothing. But if I have a power to cure people, they just come to me just to heal them. But if I love them, they can love me. So love is the best than everything. And the next one, according to religion. Some people, they discriminate other people according to their religion. This thing is very common in India because in India we have many religions, so people discriminate others just because of their religion. They say, oh, you are from Sikh religion, like I'm from a Sikh religion, I used to tie turban. So that's why they notice that I'm from other religion. So they, you are from Sikh religion. That's why. So we have no need to discriminate people with age, sex, or other things. Because see, I have 5 fingers. Not all are same. Same like this, we are in a world, all people not are same. All people are different. Some people are good, some people are bad. But thanks God, I always met with the good peoples. And now about the sex. Some people are gay, some are straight, some are lesbian. But it's not our right. We discriminate them because God made them like this. It's their form. Every bad person has something good inside. And we have no right. At the end, we are all human. Color discrimination. This thing happened in USA. They discriminate black people from white people. And American, they also discriminate from all other peoples, all nations, all nationalities, mostly with the Mexicans, with the Indians. After I'm going to play one video, then you see. And with the sex. some people, they don't offer job to females. They think that they have a different mind structure. They don't think like a man because they are emotional. And as a man, we think about always about something good. But women are emotional though, so they think that something work for all according to nationality. In this picture, as you see, there are many people from many nationalities, from Korea, China, I think from Istanbul, and one person from India. With this, we know that they are from different nationalities, but we have no need to discriminate them. Next one. And some people, based on their nationality, they offer them jobs. But why not on ability? Thanks to Miss Jackie and my other colleagues who give me a chance to be here. I'm from other nationality and they don't discriminate. They just see the ability, not my nationality. Thanks to them. At the end, we are all equal. We have many gods. We have many other things. We have many problems, but at the end, we are all human. And how we can solve this problem? We cannot solve because it's not in our hands. It's only in our God's hand. Only He can touch our heart and change our heart, our feelings. But have you ever think how we have these things inside? When we were kids, when we born as a baby, we don't know anything about the world. We don't discriminate. If someone loves us, we love back. But according to our social life, our parents, our family, television, books, they teach us, don't do these things. Maybe that person is bad. Don't do this. And according to that, our mind is set. And now we discriminate according to what we learn. But in real, we have no need to do this. And what's the best way to stop this? Only the education. With education, we stop all this. Okay, yes. And with the discrimination, what happened? People, they are in stress. It's connected to stress. And with the stress, people, what they do? Drink alcohol, drugs, and then we have a crime. So if we have a good education, good social life, we change the world. Just we need to love each other. And now, please give me a chance. I have one video. Okay. You see my screen here? Yes? No?
Yes, sir. We have good visual on your screen.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to play the video. You just watch and enjoy.
Hi. Oh, hey, how are you? I'm good. I didn't realize this home got sold already. Yeah, just last week. Oh, great. I'm Candace, by the way. Well, that must be your Porsche. Oh, yeah. I work on cars for a living, so I can appreciate a nice ride when I see one. Oh, I thought you were a mover, but you're a mechanic. Well, I guess laborers take on a lot of jobs. Well, anyway, are they inside? Oh, the new homeowner's silly. I want to meet them. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Hector. Nice to meet you. Maybe you're not understanding. How do I say this in Spanish?
Mr. Sete, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it appears we don't have visual of the video. We can only see the PowerPoint presentation.
What happened, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have visual of the video. We can see the PowerPoint presentation, but not the video.
Okay. Sharing. Let me share again. Yeah. And now? Yep.
Yeah. Now we have a visual of the video.
Thank you, sir.
Hi. Oh, hey, how are you? I'm good. I didn't realize this home got sold already. Yeah, just last week. Oh, great. I'm Candace, by the way. Well, that must be your Porsche. Oh, yeah.
I work on cars for a living, so I can appreciate a nice ride when I see one.
Oh, I thought you were a mover, but you're a mechanic. Well, I guess laborers take on a lot of jobs. Well, anyway, are they inside? Oh, the new homeowners, silly. I want to meet them.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Hector. Nice to meet you.
Maybe you're not understanding. How do I say this in Spanish? El come honors es aquí.
Look, I speak English perfectly fine. Thanks. But I am a homeowner. I just closed escrow.
Stop it. Come on. This is a really expensive neighborhood. A laborer like you couldn't afford a place like this.
I'm not.
Hello. Hi, I'm Candace. You must be the new homeowner.
No. No, I'm not. Actually, Hector is. Hey, boss, I gotta get going. Do you need anything else? Nope, all good. As a matter of fact, here's a little something extra for your hard work. Oh, great job today. Thank you so much. Take care, buddy. Thanks.
I'm confused. So you really live here? But how?
Well, I guess you can say things aren't always what they seem.
Right. Well, don't act like you own the place. I'm sure you just rented.
Whatever you say. Hey, look, I gotta finish unpacking. It was really nice to meet you, Candace. Hey.
We have a new neighbor? Yeah. And we both need to be really careful. There's just something suspicious about him.
Huh, really? Seemed like everyone I met seemed really nice.
Everyone. Who's everyone?
Well, I don't know. I think they're having some sort of like get together or something. I saw a handful of people outside.
What? See, that's crazy. I'm gonna go over there and find out what's going on. I'm not gonna have a bunch of cholos ruining my neighborhood.
Oh, wait, Mom. Look, you think that maybe I could take the Porsche tonight? I have a date and I really want to impress her.
Absolutely not. Can't even believe you would ask me that. Hector! What's going on over there?
Hey. Something wrong?
Yeah. Did you invite your whole gang over here?
Gang? These are my cousins. Hey, Primos, say what's up to my new neighbor.
Hi.
We're just having a little housewarming celebration.
You know, I knew you moving in here would be trouble. We all worked very hard to keep this a nice neighborhood. And now you're going to ruin it.
By hanging out with my family? I don't understand.
Those guys over there, they look like troublemakers to me.
Not at all. These guys do very well for themselves. See, the one on the left, he's in the restaurant business. And the one in the middle, he's into agriculture. And the one on the right here, he sells alcohol.
Oh, so selling tacos and being a farmer and working at a liquor store is doing well for you. No. Listen, just keep the music down or I'm calling your landlord. No, even worse, the cops. Comprendo?
Sure.
Good. Hey, just so you know, I'm keeping my eyes on you.
Hey, lady. Nice Porsche.
Yeah, I know. You just stay away from it. Hear them? Yes, hello. Yes, my neighbor's having a big party. And I need you to send the police right away. Thank you.
All right, guys. It's getting late. Y'all better go. Congrats again, Hector, on the new house. Salute. Salute. Oh, what? Oh, cops, man. I know. Hey, officer. Can I help you?
guys have been blasting music and having a whole wild party all night. I can't even sleep.
What are you talking about? There's no party going on over here.
Don't believe a word he says.
Are you the owner here, sir? Yes, I am. I just moved in.
No, more like a renter. And when the landlord hears about this, he's not going to be happy.
Okay, wait. Which one is it? Officer, can I have a second, please? Yeah, sure.
You're just going to let him leave.
Well, he hasn't done anything wrong, and there doesn't seem to be any party going on here.
I am telling you that there is something fishy going on here. You know, they were looking at my car earlier and my car is gone.
What do you mean?
Those guys, they stole my car.
We didn't steal anything.
Liar! I saw you checking out my car, and I knew there was something going on with you.
Wait, ma'am, do you have any kind of evidence to prove this, like maybe a video or anything?
No, I am telling you, I know that they stole my car.
We've never stolen anything in our lives. This is getting ridiculous. I try to be cool, but I'm sick of being stereotyped by you. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. You see, you said that I couldn't afford a house in this neighborhood, but actually, I bought this house cash.
Now it all makes sense. Because only drug dealers and criminals buy homes in cash.
Actually, when I told you that I worked on cars earlier, you assumed I was a mechanic. But I own the largest car dealership in town. You probably even bought your Porsche off of me.
You do? Okay, then, well. It must have been your cousins.
Oh, my cousins don't have to steal anything. They're more successful than I am. Oh. When I said that my cousin Juan here was in the restaurant business, you assumed that he was making tacos. But actually, he owns the largest chain of steakhouses in the state. I have the best steaks. And my cousin Francisco right here, he's not a farmer. He owns the largest agave plant in Mexico. And his number one client is my cousin Jesus, who doesn't work at a liquor store. He manufactures his own tequila. So you see, officers, we're not troublemakers. We're very successful entrepreneurs. Wow, that's all very impressive.
What? You don't believe this? Okay, well, how does that even explain how my car is missing?
Wait, isn't that your car right there?
Honey! You stole my car? What happened to my windshield?
Mom, I thought you were sleeping. Okay, look, I can explain. Okay, I was driving on the freeway and I
Get inside the house. You are in big trouble, young man. Get inside the house. Get in it.
Well, I guess that solves that mystery. Okay, we're gonna get out of here now. Listen, sorry for the inconvenience, guys. Have a good night. Good night. Good night.
I don't know what to say. I am so sorry. We're assuming that you stole my car.
That's fine, honestly. We're used to it. We get stereotyped all the time. It sucks, but Sally, it's the world we live in. Hopefully. It's teaching you a valuable lesson.
It does. I realize now that things aren't always the way they seem. Can you please forgive me?
Sure. Hey, look, keep the card. We've got a great body shop, and we'll take care of that windshield for you, okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay. I just played the video because we are living in 21st century. So we learn more than video, more than reading. Okay. So in that video, what they show that the lady, she was trying to fight with him, but he was quiet, patient, So when someone do with us, we have to be quiet and be patient, because soon they realize that we are not a criminal or we do something wrong. Okay. And maybe have you heard about 9/11? Someone? Yes. And that time, some people from Pakistan, they were Muslim. They hijacked the airplanes and then they hit with the building. I don't remember the building name, and because of that, they discriminate Muslims and Sikh people, because Muslim they also tie turban but with different style. But the Americans, they don't know the difference, and still they are doing. If someone is a Muslim and he's trying to enter to Mexico, they don't give visa easily. And if someone enter on immigration, I know one person. He's my friend. He's from Pakistan, and when he was here in Mexico airport, they stopped him. They gave him electric shock. Even he didn't did anything wrong, just because of his nationality, and he's a Muslim. But in real, he's not a bad person. So the thing we need to do, just be patient and try to teach our kids, be good with others. It doesn't matter how people are, but we have to teach them the good values. Okay, that's all from me. If you have any question, ask me, I'm here.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Sarkis. We appreciate your preparation, and the way that you exposed everything was great. Thank you very much. It has come the time now to open the forum to the public, in which we will give you the opportunity to ask questions to all the participants, to all the guest speakers that we have today. So if we could do this in an orderly manner, we could either use the chat room to direct our questions specifically to one of the speakers, or if you would prefer, maybe you could raise your hand virtually and we can give you the microphone so you can ask the person directly who you wish to speak to. So the forum is yours. Everybody, you're welcome to ask questions. There seems to be a question for Ms. Ariadna, made by Ms. Jacqueline Hill. She says, I would like to ask Ms. Ariadna, how can we make sustainable society? How can we make a sustainable society, given your experience?
So my recommendation is to start with you. In your human activity as an individual, what can you do to improve not only your environment, but others? And I'm very happy with the topics that have been selected in the forum, because they all correlate. Sustainability, it's not only about the environment, it's also about the social and economic activities. So it's all an integrative approach. So if we discriminate against each other because of gender, because of religion, because the way we look, because our skin color, that also affects all of us. When we are angry with a neighbor, and I love the video, thank you so much for that presentation, that is hurtful, that creates anger, and that affects our bodies as individuals, that affect the neighbors' bodies, and we're all harming each other. So to create a sustainable world, we all have to really work with each other, understand each other, love each other. And I love this vision of that you shared about God, you know, like being in relationship with each other and being caring for one another, not only caring for the water, for the animals, for the environment in itself, but also with each other. So the human system and also integrating the environment and our economic activities. So it's an integrative approach. And I also like to say, not only don't do harm, but also do better. Like also do good to in everything you do. The way you treat others, the way you treat the environment, the way you raise your kids, the way you teach, everything, try to give back good things. That's what I would say. I don't know if Marcelo would like to add something. How you make a sustainable society?
There is.
It's not only the response. I would also like to add that it's not only the responsibility of governments as a separate entity, or you know, or the it's not only the government. You can start with yourself. Actually, we need everyone on board to be able to make the world a better place.
Yes, and we can start from our home. Like here, I want to say something because in past I had one student from Colombia, and one day we were in a class, and she has one small daughter, I think like 10 or 12 years old. Suddenly, she was there in her room, and she saw me, and she said, "Mom, what happened to your teacher? Why he has a big head?" And she smiled, and she explained her. He's my teacher. He's from other country. Because of religion, he used this. So the first teacher for a kid, it's a mother. So if mother give good education, it continues, and teacher we just push up.
Absolutely, yeah, I totally agree. It starts at home. Yeah.
I'd like to add a perspective on the top of that is related to innovation. Because once we start to be more inclusive, when we start to understand diversity and the complexity of the diverse world we live in, we start to see opportunities to redesign business, redesign processes, to redesign organizations and everything else. So if you're studying engineering, for example, you can use your skills, you can use your expertise and find an opportunity that not exactly to be fixed, but to be redesigned. For example, we are now having companies like Tesla who decided to redesign the concept of cars, and companies like Apple redesigned the concept of a watch. So everything is about to be redesigned, not only in terms of technology, but also in terms of inclusion, diversity, environmental aspects, and social contribution. So we at Railroads, we encourage our students to pursue their dreams and also to do a next step, go an extra mile, redesign things and use your abilities and your will to make the world a different place.
Excellent comment and participation by all of our hosts. We would like to thank all of you, especially our guest speakers, for coming in, joining us, and for giving us such wonderful and useful information. Not only that we can apply it, as you said, in a general concept, Ms. Ariadna pointed out that everything begins from the individual. And Mr. Sugdeep mentioned also that home life, family life, being our first teachers, talking about mothers or fathers, well, they help us a lot. So thank you guys very much. We will continue to close this symposium. We will hand over the microphone to our administrators. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to our panelists for being with us during this day. Thank you very much. I think it was a success in our first international forum. Now we're going to move on to Carlos and Luis, who are going to help us giving the closure of this event. But personally, first, I would like to thank all the participants and the panelists because they are topics that definitely nowadays they have a big effect in worldwide. So these are topics that we need somehow to be remembered about the big importance that they have. And the way you presented, the four of you, the five of you, the topics, they were actually very good. So thank you very much. I hope we can continue collaborating with more forums later on. So thank you very much. So we're going to move on with Carlos and Luis, who are going to help us given the closure of this event. Thank you. Jackie, I don't know, you want to say something?
No, I don't have anything to say, but to give my thanks to all the participants, the panelists, who did a great job. I'm really impressed to know some interesting aspects about each topic, such as sustainability, discrimination, inclusion, and equity gender. I was really surprised to hear that something very simple, such as prices and personal items, such as deodorant, shampoo, and all that, that we buy them, but we don't realize the difference in prices, you know? So those are simple details are important. And thanks for Felix for letting us know this. Thank you, Ariadna. Such an interesting conference. Thank you, Marcelo. You did a great job. I'm really impressed with this all. Thank you, Sinue, Mr. Sogdi, as usual, as always. You did a great job. Thank you very much. And the microphone is yours, Danny.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, go ahead, please, Luis, Carlos.
Okay, yes. Behalf of my university, I want to thank panelists for the available participation in this forum. Also to thank each of the forum participants. If we can put an end or difference, let's help make the world fit for them. We're waiting for you for second edition, the FORO International. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. From the university, we appreciate your participation and we hope to have another forum and have a good afternoon.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We hope we can meet later on as well. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Have a nice day, you too. Thank you all.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Alberto, for being a moderator.
Yes.
It was my pleasure. If you guys ever need anything else, I'm here for everybody.
Thank you very much, Alberto. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Take care.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
You too.